What is up, Pack Nation? It is Pack here, and in today's video, I'm talking about the 10 most overrated players of NBA 2K20. I already made this video when the ratings were first announced for the first time, but now that there's been a couple roster updates, I want to really get into this and break down after 2K's opinion. I want to see what are the real overrated players of NBA 2K20. Honestly, there isn't a lot, and of the ones that are kind of overrated, it's only one or two ratings I think they need to be decreased. So for overall, they do a pretty good job. Before this video starts, if you're one of the 75% of viewers who watch these videos and is not subscribed, don't be lame, be an OG, join the Pack Nation, and subscribe. Let's get this video started, and I want to give you an example of what I mean. So, there are players that have poor stats or doing way worse statistically, and that doesn't mean that they should have a worse rating than last year or a worse rating than they have right now. Just because you're doing worse than what you were expected to do statistically doesn't mean that you're a bad player or that your rating is wrong. For example, Marcus Smart, he's an 82 overall. That doesn't mean that he should be lower. Look, he has 11.8 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and his field goal percentage is lower than usual. You look at his stats and they're not these ridiculously amazing stats. 38.7% field goal percentage is pretty dang low. That doesn't mean he should be downgraded. So that you know what he does for this team. Defensively, he's amazing. Not only that, he's the anchor for the team defensively. Every time he's on the floor, they do better. So that's why he has an 82 overall. So just because his stats aren't great doesn't mean that he's not great, okay? Just to break that down. But I will be talking statistically and other things about these players to see why they should be downgraded. Let's start with number 10. And that is Draymond Green for the Warriors. Now, he is an 83 overall for NBA 2K20. I know it says 84 up there, but on the bottom is what his actual rating is, an 83 overall. Crispy Flakes is a YouTuber. When I was doing a roster update, I was talking about how Draymond Green needed to be downgraded. He basically reacted to my video and said, Draymond Green does more than what the stats say. His game isn't to get a bunch of buckets. His game is to help the team win. That doesn't mean that your rating should be high, though. Just because you're helping the team win doesn't mean you have a high rating. And Trevor Ariza is a guy that can usually help teams win, or at least used to, and he never had a high rating, for example, right? But let's look at the stats first. 9 points a game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Again, 6 rebounds and 6 assists is good, but it's not as good as last year. 9 points is better than usual, and they've needed him to score. His field goal percentage is not good for a big man at all, at 41% field goal percentage, and his 3 is even worse than usual, which is impressive. But again, that's not what he does, and I agree with that. That's why I think he should only be downgraded by 1 overall, and that's it. That's all I'm saying. I think just barely. I know he's an amazing defender. I mean, this is the most impressive thing about him. He is 4-12 with the Warriors this season when he plays. That's a 33% win percentage. When he's not playing, they're 1-9. That is a 10% win percentage. So obviously, he helps them win games with a team that has very little talent because everyone's injured, like Klay Thompson and also Steph Curry. But still, statistically, he's doing worse than last year. And not only that, a team that really needs him to score right now because they're missing that kind of help. He needs to be doing that if they want to win even more games. But still, I think only 1 overall. I think he should be an 82 overall at the moment. The next player at number 9 is Gary Harris. This is another player I think should only get 1 overall downgrade to a 77 overall. I think that Gary Harris is actually better than I used to trash on him before. I remember he was an 81 overall, and I would trash on him, and this was my first overrated video ever, and everyone said I was an idiot. But he just keeps getting worse every year. I understand defensively he is good, even arguably elite, and they're winning because of this team's solid defense. So there's no argument there. But 11 points a game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. On worse, that's really bad field goal percentage for a guard, 42%. The 3-point field goal percentage is solid. That's good. He's a 3-and-D player essentially right now. But, I mean, he drives too, and he hasn't been doing a good job with that. Again, I don't think, when you look at the per 36, it's even worse. Last year it was 16, 18. Now it's 12. So they need his offense if they really want to shine and be real contenders, especially because Jokic is scoring even less than usual. But still, they're winning, and Gary Harris is doing his job. He just needs to score a little bit more for this team. That's why I think he should only get 1 overall down. At number 8, it is the Orlando Magic with Aaron Gordon. He's a 79 overall. I think he should also only get 1 downgrade. Now, it's not really been a secret that Aaron Gordon has been struggling this season. Only 13.5 points per game, less rebounds than last year, less assists than last year, less blocks than last year, and his field goal percentage is terrible for a big man. His 3-point field goal percentage isn't good, but he's had worse seasons 3-point wise, but still, it's not great. It's just okay. Aaron Gordon needs to step up. I mean, this is a team that's actually been doing surprisingly well in the East. I mean, Markelle Fultz has been shining. Evan Fournier averaging 20 a game. On Jonathan Isaac is starting to look like probably the best player on this team, or at least is close. Like, look at 2.7 blocks a game. He's been really good. And Vucevic, we know, is always solid, but we'll talk about him in a little bit. Aaron Gordon needs to step up. He needs to be the player that he was last year, or in the year before that, which he was great. He's just okay right now. And I think that's why he should get 1 overall minus. I think he should be tied with Markelle Fultz, because I think Fultz and Aaron Gordon are playing at a similar level. Even though Fultz is doing a good job, 12 points a game, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, on good efficiency for a point guard. So I think they should be at the same rating at the moment. Aaron Gordon should be a 78 overall. Now for number 7, and that is Myles Turner. Now Myles Turner is a good NBA player, don't get me wrong, and he's had better years. 13 points, 3 points a game, 7 rebounds, almost 2 assists a game, on 2.7 blocks last year, on great efficiency, right? I mean, still not amazing efficiency for a center, but it's pretty good. This year, 43% for a center is bad. It just is. Now, he's shooting 33% on 3, but he was shooting way better last year. His assists are lower, his rebounds, that's really bad rebound numbers for a center. Like, I know stats are not everything, but those are bad rebound numbers for a center. And then 11.3 points per game is just okay for this team. Again, this team's winning, so that's why I kind of put him at like the end of the list, because I think he's still fine. He's a great defender for the team, like really a great inside defender. But offensively, he just hasn't been getting better like he should be. That's what like the hope is. He's 23 now. Like, it's time to really improve on that side of the floor, and he hasn't. And not only that, okay, if you're going to score less, at least score efficiently, and he's not doing that. So again, T.J. Warren and Domantas Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon have all been balling out, honestly, and that's why this team's been doing very solid. And when Oladipo gets back, oh my gosh, they could be contenders, honestly. But Myles Turner needs to step up offensively. That's why I think he should be a 79 overall, -2 for Myles Turner. At number 6, it is Marvin Bagley III. Now, I put this one kind of at the end of the list, number 6, because he's been injured, and I don't want to use that excuse for players, because this is about how you're doing right now, and right now he's not doing great. But he has been injured. He's only played 8 games this season so far, and he just came back again. 13.2 points per game, 7.2 rebounds, less assists, less steals than last year, worse efficiency than last year. Even though his 3-point field goal percentage did go up, we're not seeing improvement from Marvin Bagley III yet. He's an okay defender, though. He even has really good moments of defense, but for the most part, he's just been okay. And for a team that is on the verge of a playoff experience this year, and Darren Fox just coming back, they really need him to step up offensively, and they could be a serious team. I think Buddy Hield right now is better than Marvin Bagley III. So that's why I think Marvin Bagley III should be -2 as an 81 overall, because Buddy Hield at the moment, I mean, 22 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Not the best field goal percentage, but he's doing a pretty good job, and he's been doing it alone for the most part. So he's been doing a good job, and that's why I think Marvin Bagley III should be -2. At number 5, Nikola Vucevic. Now, we're back on the Magic, a team that, again, I said is surprisingly doing well, but to be real, the reason they've been doing surprisingly well is because of Jonathan Isaac, Evan Fournier, and Markelle Fultz, not because of Aaron Gordon or Nikola Vucevic. Now, 17 points a game, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, on not great field goal percentage for a center. 44% is not great. Now, the 3-point field goal percentage is fine for a center, but again, when you are supposed to be the primary offense of this team, that cannot be your field goal percentage, especially when you're a center. 17 points per game is worse than last year, but it's still good, and his rebounds are good. I just think that Jonathan Isaac is not that far off of Nikola Vucevic, and I think that gap should not be as big as it is. That's why I think Nikola Vucevic should be -2 as an 83 overall, so that Jonathan Isaac is more or less like right there with him, or they should just upgrade Jonathan Isaac. Either or should work. Next up at number 4 is Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, who's a 76 overall in NBA 2K20. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist has not played a lot of games, averaging 5 points a game, 3.6 rebounds, 1 assist, on 31% field goal percentage. That is awful, and even worse 3-point field goal percentage. That is terrible. And then I know what you're gonna say, Pack. This is not an offensive player. He's a defensive player, and I agree. He's a good defender. However, there's another guy who's a good defender and is playing much more efficiently than Michael Kidd-Gilchrist can. That's Andre Robertson, who's also 76 overall. How can both of them be 76 overall when Andre Robertson does the same stats, yet he's way more efficient than Michael Kidd-Gilchrist? I know these are stats from like 2 years ago, but still, when he played, This is what they're basing it off, and he was a 76 overall with that efficiency. If that's the efficiency he has, then Michael Kidd-Gilchrist should be -2 overall. I get that he has a defense, but offensively he's just really, really bad. So Michael Kidd-Gilchrist should be a 74 overall. Now at number 3, it is Lauri Markkanen. And I don't know what it is about Bulls fans, but like if you ever talk bad about the team at all, they get really offended with you. Look, you have a good team for the future. Like, seriously, you have good pieces here. Lauri Markkanen so far this year has not been doing good. This is actually his worst season so far in the past 3 years he's played in the NBA. 14.2 points per game, 7 rebounds, and then 40% field goal percentage is not good for a big at all. His 3-point field goal percentage is fine, but it's worse than years before. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? He's playing much worse than years before. Like, he just is. Not only that, he is a good defender, so I think he should be definitely a high rating, and I think that in time he'll get even better, but right now he's playing like a 78 overall. He's playing barely better than Thaddeus Young, and Thaddeus Young has been playing terrible too. So I mean, Thaddeus Young 10 points a game, 4 rebounds on bad efficiency too. So I mean, they're having the same problems. They both have good defense. So Lauri Markkanen's rating I think should go down for sure. Now at number 2, it is Rudy Gay. He's an 81 overall, and he's supposed to be the 3rd best player on the team, yet he doesn't play like that. The 3rd best player on the team is Dejounte Murray at the current moment. He just is. Dejounte Murray is a better defender. He honestly is a better scorer. He can rebound as good as Rudy Gay, and he's a better playmaker. I mean, all those things I think he does better than Rudy Gay. All of them. Maybe Rudy Gay's a better shooter, but even then Rudy Gay will create a shot and then brick it. And I don't know what it is about him. He's just not doing what we need him to do. And that's honestly one of the reasons why we're not winning. It's also these two. But for the most part, it is Rudy Gay isn't doing a great job either. And I think Dejounte Murray is a better player. So that's why I think Rudy Gay should be 3- behind Dejounte Murray. So that means he should be a 78 overall. And finally, at number 1, it is Blake Griffin. Now, Blake Griffin's an 86 overall. And I know it's not fair for me to talk about him because he's always injured. But how long can we keep saying that about this dude? He just doesn't know how to get healthy, which means that's part of his career. That's it. He's going to be an unhealthy guy at all times. And that's his game. But dude, 16 points a game, 5 rebounds, kind of, 3 assists. Terrible. 36.7% is terrible. Awful threes. I get that he was injured, but he's been doing bad. And I know he's trying to come back, but it's just Derrick Rose has been playing way better than him right now, in my opinion. Blake Griffin just isn't having the season. It's sad because last year I thought he was better than Andre Drummond, but this year he's not having it. He's just not. The Pistons aren't winning, and a large part of it is because Blake Griffin hasn't been able to produce. So I think -4 for him. I think he should be an 82 overall, and that's being generous. He is not playing at that level right now. That's it for my list. I know a lot of you will disagree, but what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. If you like my channel, give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time.